Southeast Caucus of the National Assembly met to discuss the security situation in the Southeast and the debilitating weekly sit-at-home orders issued by the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. After the meeting, the Southeast lawmakers reviewed the sit-at-home orders and expressed regret over the incalculable economic losses and hardship they have brought on the region. They condemned in the strongest terms the disruption on Monday of the senior secondary school certificate examination by unidentified armed men who chased away students, teachers, and examiners and set ablaze motorcycles at a secondary school in Njaba, local government area, Imo State. The lawmakers also resolved to intervene and engage the Nigerian government on finding a political solution to crisis in the region and on the detained IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu. Joining us now from Abuja to discuss their meeting, their chances of resolving the crisis in the Southeast, and the resolutions reached on Thursday by the Southern Governors Forum is Senator Einaya Abaribe, Senate Minority Leader and former Deputy Governor of Abia State. Good morning, Senator, and welcome to the program.
Good morning. Always a delight to be here.
Well, Senator Abaribe, I think Tundu already identified the major issues. Please, could you share with us the purpose of the Southeast Caucus meeting, the outcome, the major decisions reached, and next steps by that Southeast Caucus, particularly with regard to IPOB and the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu?
Ruben, if you look at the meeting, you will see that it was across parties, it was across all divides, and it was the caucus of both the House of Rep and the Senate. And the idea for us was that we had looked at what was happening. It's our constituents that are bearing the brunt of all that has been going on there. And it was necessary for us to take a stand. And that was what we did. And you could see the communique that we issued after the meeting. Basically, that IPOB itself had said that they had called off the sit-at-home. And nobody knows who exactly is going around saying that they were enforcing a non-existent order. The spokesman of IPOB is Emma Powerful, who had issued a statement to that effect. And I think Governor Peter Obi said it the other day that maybe some other actors have joined, criminals, cultists, all manners of people, and are using the sit-at-home to perpetrate mayhem in the Southeast, and we all condemned it in its entirety. And we also felt that if the ground, let's say the reason for all this has to do with the incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, just like we had done earlier, that we should try to engage the authorities and make sure that we can find a solution that will be palatable to all sides. And that's exactly the kernel of what we discussed.
Right. I want to talk about that possibility that you feel exists of a political solution to the current incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu. What exactly is the likelihood of this political solution? What angle are you approaching negotiations with the Federal Republic, if at all you're considering that? Can you take us through what you're thinking in terms of plans for that?
Well, I guess that there is nothing that you cannot be negotiated. There's nothing that you cannot come and say, let us have a discussion on. And we intend that we will engage the authorities, the federal authorities. And, there are two aspects to this. If we can find a resolution, a way forward, then we will approach the legal side, because we know that there are some legal issues also involved there. It's not going to be easy. We do not think that it's just a walk in the park. But we know that it's better to talk than to let things continue to slide the way it was going. Because you could see that it degenerated into not even letting children go to school and all that, go take exams and so forth. And that's not in our character. And we felt that we need to come in and decisively step into the matter. Of course, with every other stakeholder, the Ohanese, the governors, and every other person, we think that there's still a chance at a negotiated settlement.
Oh, and we'll come back to you, Senator Ina Barbe, and we'll talk some more. All right, welcome back. We still have Senator Ina Barbe, Senate Minority Leader, former Deputy Governor of Abia State. Senator, good to have this conversation with you. So the last time you were here, you talked about the possibility of some people, causing all this mayhem, and you kept on saying it's not IPOB. With this, now that you've said, can we hold you by that by saying maybe some other actors are causing all of this? And probably who are those actors? And secondly, I'd like to talk to you about all of this sort of rapprochement. Is it because of the president visited? Is it because there was a dialogue, by some Igbo leaders with the president? How is all of this connected to the president's visit? And then there's some other things, because media was shut out of that hall, that request you made from the president from that visit that we should know about, at least to allay fears and calm people down?
Well, if I take what you said earlier, first of all, IPOB on its own said that there should be no more sit at home, and that people should go about their businesses, legitimate businesses, and all that. Yet, there were some people who attacked people who were going about their business, saying that, that there should be a lockdown, meaning that nobody now knows who was enforcing what. And that's why we felt that those who are enforcing it could not have been the people who also said, let there be no sit down. That is why we are saying that it must have been elements that we do not know. And we actually also suggested that both the governors and the security agencies work hand in hand and fish out those who are doing this, because this is detrimental to our welfare and the economy of the Southeast. On the matter of what was discussed with the president, I wasn't there, but I know that the speech that was read by the president of Ohanese was released to the press. And in all, what everybody wants is to have peace in your place, because without peace, you can't have any development, you can't have any movement, you can't have anything. And I think that each and every one of us pulling from different strands will probably bring to to our people the required resolutions of, that they want. Secondly, we also feel that there is an attempt to introduce into the Southeast something that is alien to us, which is these incessant killings and assassinations and so forth. It doesn't have, it's not us. Our ethos as Ndibo is Onyagala one. We don't forsake your brother. So the brothers are killing brothers, and that all these type of things are happening, we think is alien to our character. And that's why we feel that the sooner every other person comes in and we find out who and take out those who are doing this, the better for every one of us in the Southeast. That's exactly the situation now.
Well, Senator, two quick things. The Southern Governors Forum, 17 governors, some of them represented by their deputies, met yesterday in Enugu, and they came up with a number of resolutions with regard to fiscal federalism, the Petroleum Industry Act, the commercialization of the NNPC, open grazing, and also particularly VAT, which they say should be collected by states. What do you think about this Southern Governors Forum, who again, like the Southeast Caucus that you referred to, met along bipartisan lines? And then secondly, yesterday, one of the strong members of your party, Femi Fani-Kayode, was seen in Aso Villa paying homage to the president and being announced as the newest member of the All Progressives Congress, a party he once described as the Almajiri People's Congress. So he's there now, and he's one of a series of persons who have gone to the APC. He even said some other governors, Bauchi governor or your governor, and some other governors will follow suit. It looks like the PDP is just losing all its prominent persons. How does that position your party for 2023 and the capacity of the party to move from being a minority party into a dominant majority party in 2023?
I would prefer that we do not dwell on Fani-Kayode. In Igbo, there's a saying that Amagbo onye mkpụmkpụ na-atụ nkọjọ ya araghị ahụ. You know, if you correctly describe a short man, finding him is very, very easy. I think Obasanjo had dealt with the matter of who Fani-Kayode is, and I think we should just leave that aside. Coming to the fact,
how did President Obasanjo describe him? How did President Obasanjo describe him?
I think we can find out that he already had made that statement. I would have to repeat it here. But the point really, Ruben, is I listened to Governor Umahi this morning, and he was very emphatic on Channels Television. I said that, that Fani-Kayode needs to come and apologize to him. How can he say that he brought him to APC? So you could see that already there are discordant tunes coming out from there. And I think we should just leave that. As for the fact that PDP is going to take over in 2023, the facts are very, very clear. Again, our people say that no labanaka and enyo. You know, if you wear a gold bracelet, you don't need to be looking at it. Everybody knows that you're wearing a gold bracelet. Nobody in Nigeria today can say that where we were in 2015 is where we are today in 2021. Are we better off? Capital, no. And so when we go to the polls, we will see how Nigerians are going to express their feelings about the government in power. So we're not bothered about a few people who decide to make their decisions. It's their personal decision where to go. I would not go anyway. So there's nothing to talk about that, Ruben.
The Southern Governors Forum meeting in Enugu.
Well, what I see from what the Southern governors did was a reiteration of their meeting both in Delta and in Lagos. And all that they have just done is that they continue to reiterate it. Presidency must come to the South, fiscal federalism to be enforced, and VAT collection. Of course, they are very right on VAT. VAT is not there in the exclusive list. VAT is not there on the concurrent list. And therefore, VAT is residual. Residual means that the states can make laws for it. And I don't see how we can. In fact, if they want my advice, what I would say to the federal government is rather than using FIRS to be dragging unnecessarily. They should call all the attorneys general of the states, sit down and hash out a resolution of this matter. And that should now take care of that. You know, we can't be a federation. And then some people are breaching the law. The law is clear. VAT is not in the exclusive, no concurrent list. So the federal government has absolutely no say in that matter. I can understand the history. And I watched Ijewere yesterday when he said, this is how we came to this point, and this is what happened. And we can take in all those historical facts into consideration and our present realities, sit with everybody and hash out a solution, which is what federalism is all about.
Well, still on the issue of the Southern Governors Forum, they also reiterated the importance of regional security. So my question is, what has happened to Ebube Agu in that clash with the ESN? And that also raises the issue you referred to earlier about the political solution, possible political solution for the current incarceration of Nnamdi Kanu, as opposed to a legal solution, because we haven't really seen the latest charges brought against him, but we can well imagine. In the last couple of days, the presidency has reiterated the fact that IPOB is a proscribed group, and presidential spokesman Garba Shehu mentioned how IPOB has regularly murdered security services and innocent civilians. So how will that Ebube Agu and ESN conflict in the Southeast be resolved? And how does that designation of IPOB and therefore its leader in these terms, how does that affect your attempt to find a political solution for his release?
Well, I wouldn't be in the best position to talk about Ebube Agu because that is exactly the job of the chief security officers of the Southeast. Their job is to have that regional outfit. They signed up to it. They told us about it. They came together and informed the whole world that they have it. So I guess that they are in the best position to do so. As for the fact that the IPOB is proscribed and therefore you can't talk to them, and I do not think that that is correct. The fact is simple. They are showing that there is sympathy for them. And if you are in charge of a nation of diverse interests in the manner that we have, there must be a way for you to resolve issues without being unduly legalistic. And I've said it here before. IPOB and is whatever they are doing now and the tag that they are giving them is the fault of the federal government. How can you, I repeat, how can you leave people who have been able to shoot down a military aircraft and you don't call them terrorists? And you now say, oh, these ones who are running around here are terrorists and you will never talk to them. Yet, you are talking to those who shot down an aircraft. And so that is where the problem is. If the government is interested in having peace in our land, which is the first order of business of a government, which is the welfare and security of our people, then the Constitution, you have to explore all options. You don't write off one option and say, we won't do it. You write it off, the matter continues the way it is. Who loses? At the end of the day, the presidency of President Buhari will go into history. Whatever is false is this thing, there will always be a reckoning in history. And if you want to be seen as the man who led Nigeria into its disintegration, then that is his decision to take. And so we have said we are ready. We are part of the Southeast. We know some of the people who we can all bring together, governors, Ohanese, clergymen, everybody, and say, let's talk. And we have always said that. When I came here last time, I also said the same thing. I said, let's talk. Why wouldn't we talk? And so, for us from the Southeast, something is very, very difficult for us to comprehend. You're very willing to go and talk to foreign Fulanis who are invading Nigeria and causing mayhem here. You're very willing to talk to the people you call bandits. Of course, I've always told you here that I don't believe that they are bandits. They are terrorists. It's just that we're giving them a beautiful name. You're willing to pay ransom. You're willing to do all manners of negotiation with them, and we saw it. Why is it that when it comes to the Southeast, you're very unwilling? You want to bomb them. You want to do that. And I'll say one final thing. When you live in a country and your military is conducting sorties, air sorties, within your territory, I don't know what else you can call it. And so I don't like us coming and just pretending that there is no problem. We are in serious problem, and we need to deal with that.
All right, we'll take a short break. We'll come back to you, Senator Fulbright. All right, welcome back to the morning show right here on the Rise News channel. We still have Senator Ina Barbe, Senate Minority Leader, former Governor of Abia State, and we're talking about a lot of issues as regards the southeast of Nigeria. So I want to talk about Igbo presidency. Since the last time, I think we talked about possibilities of people that might be running. You've not been able to say anything as regards your intention for that. But it looks as though there's been a lull as regards that conversation. I mean, it's not the buzzword in media any longer. We don't hear it. Nobody talks about it. When we talk about the East now, we talk about the conflicts and things happening in the East, the insecurity. So is it that it's rested for now? Is it something that probably Ohanese and Igbo might have to raise with President Buhari at some point, and probably the political parties? Where are we with this Igbo presidency?
Well, Rufai, first of all, running for any office, you have to do it within the milieu of a political party, especially as the fact that we do not have independent candidates. Two, let me borrow the words of my good friend Peter Obi, who said that Nigeria is an engine of a vehicle that has knocked. And once that you don't go and look for a driver for a knocked engine because the vehicle will not move. So what you need is a mechanic, a good one that can repair the engine. And I think that there are very good mechanics in the Southeast, just like there are mechanics everywhere, but very good mechanics in the Southeast. What has led to what you think is a lull is that both parties are going through a period of getting the party leadership set. And it is only after that that you will now see people come out to say, I would like to put my heart in the ring. And I think that it's a process that we are going to see in the next few months. As for myself, I do not think that those who are doing the job of presidency today are much better than me. So when the time comes, I will let you know, Rufai, whether we will do much, much better. But like I said, the best mechanics are in the Southeast.
Okay, thank you.
Well, okay, a number of issues that you addressed at that Southeast Caucus meeting. One of them is the sit-at-home order and all of that. The other is the Nnamdi Kanu case. The meeting resolved that a committee will be set up to engage with federal government stakeholders to find a solution to the continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and that the Southeast Caucus will report back to Indigbo on a regular basis. Now, when is that committee going to be set up, and what kind of intervention is the Southeast Caucus going to bring forward, considering that the matter is already in court? The second thing that was considered also was the attack on that command secondary school in Nkube, Njaba local government area of Imo State. Students who were not allowed to write their English papers in the current ongoing school living certificate examination. Is the Southeast Caucus going to make any effort, or has any effort been made to engage with WAEC, the examination body, to ensure that these innocent children do not all receive absent, a categorization of absent in English language, considering how important English is to any form of future admissions for these young persons at the tertiary level, that is.
Yes, I know that there is an Ohaneze committee that is engaging with that. That is trying to find what are the alternatives that we can make for these innocent children. They are innocent. They don't have anything to do with all these things, and they are suffering for it. As for the fact of what happened in Njaba local government, the real worry for everyone was that this sit at home had been called off. So we do not know who decided that day to go and visit this type of injustice on the poor children who are looking to their future. And I think that's why a lot of people felt that these were not people who cared for their people. These are hoodlums and all manners of other people who are cashing in on this to do the whatever they have in mind to do. It's also possible that those who want to discredit another group may decide that, okay, let us also go to do this and blame it on that group. And so there are just too many scenarios that you can run. But all we are interested in is making sure that this does not happen again. So we are interfacing with Ohaneze, we are interfacing with the clergy to be sure that we find out. We're also interfacing with the governors because they also have superior information than us about what is going on and how we can tackle it. And I think that at the end of our deliberations, we will do so. We're having another meeting when we come in next week. And I think that by the time we have that meeting, that particular committee will have been set up. We're not going to announce the committee because it's unnecessary. What we're going to do is just to meet with the authorities, because this is a back channel movements we are going to do. And when we do that, and if the outcomes, we have to regularly tell our people this is where we are at the moment and this is where we're going. As for the fact of having some legal impediments, we know that you can talk even while you're in court. People, I think lawyers do it every time. You can decide, okay, let us go out of court and settle. So the fact that something is in court does not mean that you cannot discuss it or that you're precluded from having reaching some kind of agreement on it. We are all Nigerians. We are all citizens of this country, and we all have the same protection under the law. And that's what we want to make sure that everyone gets.
There's been some criticism from perhaps unlikely quarters in the person of Senator Ali Ndume about the high rate of borrowing in this country and the unseemly haste in making these approvals without the proper scrutiny. He also said that some of the approvals that have been made, the money is nowhere to be found. In your capacity as a Senate Minority Leader, what's your take on this issue?
I think that yesterday, the case was succinctly made by the head of the presidency's own economic team. If you are using 97.7% of your revenue to service debts, there's no sense in going ahead to borrow more. But in the Senate, this is what happens, and of course in the House of Reps. When a request is put forward by the president, it's sent to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debts. That committee will do its work and then bring a report to the floor of the Senate. So I'm going to wait until the report comes. But one thing I know is that the minority caucus will find it very difficult to continue to push Nigeria where we are going with this debt matter. How can a debt service to revenue ratio be 98%? It means that only 2% of your revenues is what you're going to use to do every other thing, both capital and recurrent expenditure, and that's impossible. Let's just put it that way. And so I would actually like to commend the president's team for pointing out to the president that where we're going is unsustainable. And that is our position. Where we are going with this debt is unsustainable. And we cannot accept such position. I think what they should just do is, we were able to manage this economy. The PDP was able to manage this economy and made it so, and we're just surprised that in 6 years, we have gone, and just like Emir Sanusi said, we have wiped away the gains of the last 30 years in 6 years. That cannot be a fitting legacy for someone that was presented to us as a savior.
Well, thank you very much, Senator Abarebe. We would like to thank you for your time and your contribution.